Shall we pick a card?
Yes!
Pick one.
Oh, look, the Ace of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts.
I win. I start. Hit it, Franky. Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise. Birds in the trees seem to whisper Louise. Could it be true that someone like you could love me, Louise? The morning sunshine shows every flaw on my bare body. Freckles, papules, mollusks, milia, lentigos, all the myriad unpronounceable names dreamed up by dermatologists for the tiny flecks adorning the bare parchment of my skin. That's before we get to the stretch marks, wrinkles, bruises, the signs of a life lived long and sometimes well. Ah, yes. My skin is like that translucent Japanese shoji paper, translucent and deckled, with impurities unfiltered, because perfection is a waste of resources. I can only show off my flaws in the privacy of my boudoir. To face the day, I must embellish my body. How much is too much? First, the basics. Anointing my skin with lotion, no longer a vanity, now a necessity to spackle the cracks webbing my ancient fragile skin. Lacy lingerie, a tiny vanity, a second skin, cupping my curves, keeping them contained in the socially acceptable manner. Next, that decision made, the next decision, what to wear, jeans and a t-shirt, culottes, a formal dress or a fancy suit. Whatever I decide to wear defines my day, whether I am invisible or seen. That decision made, I'm ready for the final task. Painting the blank canvas of my face, erasing my invisible brows and lashes, smoothing the redness, softening the subdermal rash, making myself seem someone else, someone more beautiful, more confident, more poised, more glamorous, someone I would rather be than my unadorned, flawed self.
I'd rather be a wild, wild woman.
Oh, you would.
The ocean calls to her midst inky sky. White cotton candy clouds stretched thin near gone. Mistook you for two stars, her twinkling eyes. A luminescent moon upon her shone, as she, quite snake-like, slipped off fibrous skins. Her clothing lying slack upon the sand, her naked body deftly waded in. And mesmerized, you watched her as she swam. Submerged, she seemed to make love to the sea. Her cries of rhapsody rang through the night. And how you longed to join such ecstasy. With her you plunged and gave into delights of flesh. 'Neath haloed moon she was transformed, wild woman howling, wolf-like, wet, reborn.
Well, howling. That sounds a bit like Kate Bush, and I'm going to take you to the hill in England that Kate Bush ran down. Kate Bush isn't in the poem, but the hill is amazing. White horse. The Ridgeway whistles with a freezing wind. Ahead is the moat, now just a trench around a mound overgrown with grass. I whirl around, I can see everywhere. The skies are grey, twisted with strands of white. I see houses like pebbles, clumps of bare trees, stone towers of churches, a valley rolling in greenness to the horizon in flickering light, the castle like a crown on the hill, its outline sharpening. We scattered his ashes here, my friend Jim tells me. This was his favourite place. Kite is soaring so tranquil in the freezing wind, its belly a glowing ember. Wings stretch, a flicker of its tail as it plummets, feathers pulsating, then it rises in a jolt to float on currents of air. Speckles in the light gather into figments. Two boys are running, a glow on their cheeks. They're lean, nimble-footed, as comfortable here as the hovering kite. They know every contour, every pitfall. Best friends leaping up and down the hill. Is one of them Eugene? Is Martin a shadow playing at your side? I'm awkward, far behind. This is where you grew. You're tumbling together, chattering stories. Muscles flex as you conjure warriors against chainmail on your body as you turn into knights, then into maidens sick with love. The village sits like a miniature on fields you cross every day to go to school. You're reenacting tales passed down the generations like minstrels. Pretty with your lies, you add cheeky variations and laugh. The castle reassembles as you find it in play, a raucous banquet, glowing iron in the forge. Is that you, Martin, now holding a sketchbook? White lines stretch the lengthening limbs of a horse in motion, etched into soft, chalky soil. I stand in the eye and I spin 3 times to make a wish, busy, dizzy in the blur of hedged fields, spiraling birds, the castle's remnant grows. I make the wish to make everything I see feed the vigor of my imagination. Haunches of horses swell, shining like the grass on the hill. Muscular torsos flex as riders rise from galloping bodies, searching every crevasse between the spreading limbs of trees for hidden dangers, gruesome dragons, monsters with snakes dancing from their hair, transforming into shouting warriors, glow of iron, spinning circles on shields. An artist is revealing the vigor of a horse's body in lines of chalk, an offering of love. His full lips smile with satisfaction. His full lips smile with satisfaction, and he lets out a joyous laugh. His body is lively and gracious as the horse's. This is the first time, Martin, I've really seen you since you died. I remember you in Sydney, painting a woman in swirling colours. Her face was yours. Her dress was from another time. Now, I'm here. I can truly see you again.
Oh, the joys of travel. Wouldn't it be nice? I don't seem to get much further than the kitchen sink. Whatever happens to the manic pixie dream girl after the movie credits roll? Does she stay with the soulful, dark, brooding hero? While sprinkling magic pixie dust over his dark fantasies, or gently lifting his spirits by stroking his magic wand. It's been a hard day in the call centre. She's not hitting her targets. Sad panda eyes. She looks out at the rain-soaked city skyline. Think happy thoughts or she can't fly. So tough to be so earthbound, walking 3 flights up with a heavy bag of groceries, bottle of wine, a baguette, to the cold water flat she can't even swing a cat in, let alone keep one. How did Audrey Hepburn manage? He's there, brooding in the shadows. He hasn't hit his word count today. The Pulitzer Committee didn't call. His agent is avoiding him. Somehow it's all her fault. If only she sold more insurance, they could rent him Manhattan instead of Queens. It would really help his career to be in the thick of it. Is she really cooking spaghetti carbonara again? In the tiny kitchen, out of his sight, she opens the bottle of wine, pours a glass, has a drink, quicker that way, taps on her mobile phone, a one-way single ticket to Paris, Roma, Bali. Why stop at one? Escape is her destination, not her goal. She'll eat and love her way around the world. Forget pray. She's her own answer.
Wine, wine, wine. All you do is whine. Wait until you hear my story. Merci. I used to wear a silk ribbon tied prettily around my neck. A French femme fatale. Très chic. Now it hangs more like a noose, this label bestowed upon me. Once his sperm made itself at home inside that speck of a cell I've been hoarding all my life for this very purpose, this very day. My body no longer my own, poked, prodded, subject to strangers' unsolicited advice, I disappeared behind my ballooning belly. Ousted as the main player, the bump took center stage. Sashimi and soft cheeses? No. Iron supplements and melodious Mozart pumped in through little earbuds placed on my belly. Oui, apparently would make my baby smarter. Despite all my efforts to do all the right things and more, he was born defective. I'm not really supposed to say that, am I? I must have done something awfully heinous in my past life, because karma sure has come to ram one right up my bleep with this life sentence I created out of a single moment of mindless rutting. Sometimes I wish the doctor had left me to bleed out on that birthing bed. I'd tried to give my baby a calm birth, without any drugs, so he would enter the world floating on an amniotic river of optimal zen. This 9-pounder life ripped through me, split me open like an overripe pomegranate, tore me so badly that I needed a blood transfusion to replace all I'd lost. But there was not enough blood in the world to replace all I had lost. 15 years later, and the hemorrhaging has never really stopped.
Powerful women, dealers. But I'm going to give you the greatest diva of them all, Maria Callas. This is Maria Callas singing Bellini at the Scala in 1952. You sigh, picking at the scab of a wound deep inside you. The blood flows in a single tear. Smoke blows from my mouth, drifting in the form of a lost lover over plates and bottles. Then he fades, leaving you and me. The room tilts as a blood-red glass crashes to the floor. And I reach for her, knowing she understands, revolving warped on vinyl that's been everywhere I haven't survived, gathering cracks. You know how far gone I am whenever I need to hear her. She's like an obsession, squirming, alone on sweaty sheets. She embroiders her guts with a knife or a needle, and so we are not alone as she reaches into her enraged diaphragm for longing, rolls of resistance, questioning and rising to an answer in a pitch that excruciates, tearing our mouths open in a gasp that quivers, splintering with her exquisitely trained trills. As she pauses, cellos brood over this private moment, twisting with bass and baritone harmony, and we wait for her, standing and mouthing her defiance as gowns and coloured lights flicker on our bodies instead of just t-shirts, turning any lingering of sadness into something like colour, singing at a crumbling La Scala. Glowing eyes and emaciated bodies breathe more deeply as we sing with her in the ruins of a war that's over at last. I see your body inflate with her emotion as she gallops, sweating blood like a thoroughbred, cascading in a resounding canter, ever faster to her shattering high note. Silence. Standing, applause, bravo, bravo, not quite. We are bewildered, greasy dinner plates and almost empty bottles. I pour and you drink. We suddenly erupt into crazy laughter. Can we ever train our pain and wonder to weave an illusion as rich as this? Rest well, Maria.
Forget Maria. Has anyone even heard of Maria? Well, let me introduce you to the original burlesque babe, Salome, demise of a temptress. The beginning is never where the real story begins. How dreadfully unsatisfying if Yaconan's erotically severed head were simply presented to Salome on that delightful silver platter. No, no, that would not have sufficed at all. We hunger for that sinful desire, that burning lust. In our shroud of anonymity, we shamelessly ogle the nubile vixen as she strips her laid veils, one delicately perfumed wisp at a time. Hold dance for us, Salome. We are the silent voyeurs to your wicked burlesque. The ending is never the real ending either. Salome is no longer luminescent as a gilded lily in moonlight, but radioactive as a ghoulish she-devil under a blood moon. Herod commands the destruction of this vile creature. The original tale, being a couple of millennia old, is scant with details surrounding said destruction. Perhaps the old-time folk were a more prudish bunch. But you out there, you're a bloodthirsty mob, are you not? Surely you would like to know how the soldiers encircled young Salome like wolves. Night after night, they had endured the torment of glancing furtively through their helmets at this bewitching childwoman, as her stepfather plied her mouth with grapes and figs and plum-ripe peaches. The juice would drip down the corners of her lips, and her little pink tongue would flicker out to catch every drop, like the greedy little serpent she was. Oh, Salome, how you tantalize by your very existence. Well, you could not blame the soldiers, could you, for acting in the way they did? They had been so cruelly led on by this teenage temptress. It had to be one of the oldest stories in one of the oldest books. She had been asking for it. And so they lined up, one by one, or sometimes 2 or 3 at a time. She possessed more than one orifice after all. To ravage the virgin princess in such violent ways that would surely have sent them spiraling into the pits of hell to join her in the afterlife. Perhaps the ancient storytellers were right after all, to have omitted such details from the Book of Time. Perhaps some things are better left unsaid.
Oh, Paris, Paris, Paris. You have certainly filled in the gaps that Oscar Wilde left out about Salome. How she danced. Ah, my tale brings light into the darkness. Midnight at the crossroads, full moon overhead, the woman living within it veiled by drifting clouds, a dog barks in the darkness. There are 3 ways, 2 are closed to me. One-way streets I travel down, never to return. The maiden gives way to the mother gives way to the torchbearer, she who shines light into darkness, she who shines light into your soul. Hecate, the torchbearer, holds the keys to the world. She unlocks your heart. She unlocks your secrets. I met Hecate once at the crossroads of Broadway, Regent and George Streets, right here in Sydney on a hot summer day. At the summons of my mother, fierce Demeter, seeking my aid to rescue her wayward daughter, her reluctant Persephone, my sister. From the mouth of Hades, the place where her drug dealer lived, most people call it Darlinghurst, but we lived in a family myth more powerful than any Homer told. My 5-year-old daughter was with me as my mother in her frenzy to protect my sister refused my objections. I had no babysitter that day. I should not expose my own innocent 5-year-old daughter to the darker side of life, ensnaring my sister in a spiderweb of lies and confusion. So imagine me sitting in a hot car on a hot day with a strangely silent child, idling in a traffic jam that gridlocked the city on a mission of futility. My sister was already ensnared by the spell of the poppy, too powerful for her mother or her sister to break. So what should I do? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? I had to choose between my sister and my daughter. Should I choose rescue or nurture? Which one was more important, the old family or the new? Should I cling to past ties of love and duty or honour the new ties that I had made myself? The traffic was still gridlocked. I had time to choose. I looked at my daughter sitting beside me, her face perfect, trusting. Nothing bad had happened to her yet. As her mother, it was my job to make sure nothing hurt her for as long as I could. The traffic light turned green at last. I did not hesitate to follow the sign of Hecate, the torchbearer. Even a traffic signal could be a message from a goddess. I drove myself and my daughter away from the traffic, away from the gridlock, away from my mother, away from my sister, away from her crisis I did not make and could not solve. My daughter and I had a wonderful afternoon beside the sparkling harbour, our fingers sticky with melted ice cream, singing along to her favourite band. Life's fantastic, dressed in plastic.
So, Hecate and Salome, two great myths, but I'm going to bring you a little bit of the greatest myth maker of all, Shakespeare. And I met Shakespeare in London when I was there 35 years ago. Famous Shakespeare. I'm here to meet myself. I passed Grenfell Tower, wrapped in a grey sheath. It's here the neglected of this city will have to burn. Close by is the pool where I swam to ground my drifting mind. I'm now on the street. Respectable rows of orange terraces. The door of number 12 is locked, but there I am, 35 years ago, scruffy in my duffel coat and scarf, climbing the stairs, sighing out smoke. A woman with a pickled face and mane of curls opens the door and stares. I greet her, but she frightens me. My room is tiny, single bed, window to a wall. A mess of half-read books, I never finish them. Always looking for something new to make me gasp. Or face down in a mound of unwashed clothes. I write in my diary, repeating an endless loop. Oh, if only the laughing brown eyes of a boy back home. I throw away the pen. I cannot say, cannot speak. Even now I cannot say what I want, but after all this time, I have a bit more confidence. So I will write for you, along with, who calls me ruffian, breaks my paid cross, tweaks me by the nose, plucks off my beard, and blows it in my face. Who does this? Then, as now, my dog-eared copy of Shakespeare is open in front of me. Shush, go back and write for myself. Back then I wanted shimmering piano, the raucous chords of a bass guitar, the howl of a mad soprano. But I can't play music here. Well, it's playing now as I write, or the fat man next door will swear and kick in the door. I'm not allowed to invite a friend, and here I don't have any friends. I left them all behind. I burnt my law books. I flew to London to find what? I'm left with silence. There's nothing here even to fuel an erection so I can touch myself. Shall I compare this prison where I live into the world? Such marvellous words, but I cannot declaim them here. I walk out into the night. The houses repeat, endless rows of pompous buildings are everywhere, so I gesture to the purple sky, which reflects the incandescence of this massive city. My body is alive, the muscles clench in my striding legs. The yellow of each streetlight is edged with a rainbow, revealing the shadows of twigs and branches bare in freezing wind. Spread in the ladders above me. They split at random angles. They follow one then another, twisting with endless complexity, like veins tapering to capillaries, living, quivering. I want to touch them like the flesh of a smiling boy at a bar. I speak, he does not hear. There are invisible barriers everywhere. All I can do is stare, and I, like one lost in a thorny wood that rends the thorns and is rent with the thorns, seeking a way constrained from the way. Oh, what marvellous words! Yes, I'm standing in a park. A red bus passes. The traffic is sparse. The trees are shriveled. It's past midnight. Now I'm alone. Like Hamlet, like Richard. At last I can speak. I wait, the words are stuck in my head, a breath pierces deep into my belly, then deeper again, tickling my throat. My lips are now muscular, spitting out your words. My brain, I'll prove the female to my soul the father, and these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts. Even in prison, I can express myself. My brain is a woman, of course. My gestures widen, my voice becomes playful. She flows through my body. I stamp my feet, trying to break free. My soul is young and muscular. I feel it in the beat of the line. My chest opens, my solar plexus tingles. An audience come to life around me. Silly beggars sitting in the stocks. A punk boy sneers and smiles. There's a frightened boy I met at a bar, a Kaposi sarcoma on his face. A scrawny clown in whiteface laughs. We all walk alone. None of us belong. My voice quietens. I can speak to them with such intimacy as male and female merge into a breathing rhythm of images. It's full of nuance and surprises, like the lattice of twisting twigs and branches. Then I sense my wicked friend Gloucester, an envious mountain on my back where sits deformity to mock my body. So you can't get the cool boys either. You're awkward and badly dressed. They look right through you at the bar. They will love me when I get the crown. Was ever man in this humour wood? Was ever man in this humour one? I'll have him, but I will not keep him long. I'm so much more alive than any of them. As I speak, a bunch of misfits, mavericks, and addicts are applauding me. These are my people. These are my audience. I preen myself. Swagger, I'm powerful. I'm beautiful. Hamlet joins hands with me. Do I want to be him or make love with him? But it goes heavily with him. This majestical roof fretted with golden fire appears a foul and pestilent promulgation of vapours. Oh, that's how I feel. But with me at your side, you'll find your resolution and kill your bloody bawdy villain of an uncle. Gloucester and Hamlet kiss. I recite them in turn. Then Richard II again. My lips are rouged. I twirl the street lights. The cape flows from my shoulders. Oh, Shakespeare, how I love your mavericks. I still don't know what I want, but now I can find my own words. I don't need yours.
Charles, that was wonderful. But you know what? I can get to the climax much more quickly than you with this sonnet. Inflatable, irreplaceable, you. Behind closed doors you pump her full of air, your pretty little polyester girl. You stroke her lustrous long synthetic hair, then round her neck deposit strands of pearls. You shower your sweet love with golden gifts. She hungers for cream pies, delicious treats, and never argues back. You have no rifts. A pity that your friends will never meet her. Back in her lonely box she now must go. Regretfully you slink back to real life of emptiness amidst marital woe. But oh, one day you landed in some strife, when over-loving you pumped your balloon too much, and she exploded all too soon.
Hang on. I have something to say now.
This is my part of the show. I mean, it's a real piano.
Hello everyone. I'm the piano player.
Don't shoot him.
Very good. Laugh I nearly did.
Alright.
1 week ago, I was sitting in a hospital in Randwick and I wrote this song. It's about my first marriage. This song is about, I've been married 3 times, you know. You can't go through life being happy. Oh, you like music, do
You
you?
better be happy now.
You like music? You like music?
Here. There you go. Give me that. Right.
Everyone give me a C.
Yeah.
See? Humans. This song lasted longer than my marriage did. Some songs are very, very long. This one isn't.
So, done?
Have I finished yet?
You haven't finished yet?
Oh,
I'd like you to all stand for the national anthem.
Yes. Okay.
All stand for the national anthem.
Everyone stand. Everyone stand. We're in a very venerable place. I've got the flags up the back. Stand for the national anthem. There we go.
That's it. Continue. Possess you, I hate you, love you too. You told me I was going to lose the fight and leave me alone. Now I want to think. I can be close. I'm so comfortable. The lovely Lou on dancing, very good, very good, yes, 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 yes. Now back behind the curtain. Just. I get paid for doing this. Just like the beatniks, back behind the curtain.
All right, you can sit down again now.
Oh no, where's my thingy?
We're going to get very dark and serious again.
God, we have the characters of the Pocket Playhouse, but there's a place just down the road from the Pocket Playhouse in Tempe called the Rattler. And that's what I want to remember now. This city stifles me. I want to be heard. I need a place to diverge from the normal, where vulnerability is strength. I'm in a pocket of crumbling warehouses, the walls are dark with tags. Staring faces confront me, swirling with colour. I glimpse sprawling sculptures welded from discarded iron through half-open doors. Plans are being drawn up, the wrecking ball looms, to build more cubicles of concrete and glass, but here, for now, is the entrance to the Rattler. The ceiling soars a rainbow of light, reflects from the crystals of a chandelier. Vintage couches with button leather, pierced noses, lively eyes, hair in dreadlocks, a chatter of anticipation, bodies alert in bright clothing. I have a poem, a piece of enlivening eccentricity I was compelled to write. I want to conjure a dead friend to bring them to life in my body. Candy was the host. I feel her presence. A silence as she stands about to begin. She blesses. the indigenous people. Her head is shaved, she's fighting cancer. She speaks with the urgency of a lover, her true shock. But she's gentle, her eyes are a caress, and she welcomes us all. Let's banish the language of brutality. This is a sacred space, a place of love, of pure love. Clarinets keep rhythm with trumpets as she raps her poem, whispering poetry onto flesh with delicate kisses. Bodies writhe and gasp. We picture our own loving at its most intense. I adore you, Candy, as I remember your words. Next, a solemn woman in a gleaming red dress is standing at the mic. She tells of a man maddened with booze, swinging his fists. Tears in her eyes, fury in her voice. But as she recites, she glows. She's standing there, she survived. The bruises fall away as we cheer. Their flowing hair is in ponytails. They tell of a boy tormented in a country town. They get on the train with nothing except their dreams of transformation. Here they are, speaking to us, gorgeous. They pity their attackers, the small minds. She was stolen from her mother, dragged screaming away from cops brought up by strangers. But after years of searching, she finds her. A moment of hesitation, then her embrace. Still wounded, she breathes in her arms. A guitarist in a cape and face paint takes us on a journey with all the wild complexity of creating in the moment. The rage of his demons turns into yearning as he wraps them in his music. He overcomes, he stands there with joy. Outside they're disaffected and ignored, but here's there's hope and faith in change. It's my turn, I'm fat and middle-aged, but I have a story, the audience senses. I'm shaking as I face them. I feel a pool of empathy. My poem blossoms, my dead friend leaps to life. We reshape the world with glamorous lies. Non-binary before the word, she's their sister too. More stories as we drink. The open wounds of this city shift into love. Are those nights at the Rattler? They don't happen anymore. Candy Royale is gone. I need to find a place, man.
You know what I love about the theatre? You meet the most interesting people. You could almost fool me into thinking we're more. On the couch, watching Deadpool, whilst you drool over my new skirt that caresses my curves, just so. You anticipate my squeak of resistance as you trail a languorous finger over my pleather, pop of taut laces. You tug, they slacken. Unsheathed, you massage my tired feet. Pause to check on potato gems crisping up in the oven. We chat as you mix the next round of cock-sucking cowboys. We take a tipsy Tetris of tipsy glasses and pimped-up plates, where we pull out the snack table, fumble around crevices searching for the remote. When a bit of bow chicka wow wow comes on, monkey see, monkey do, you lead me to the bedroom. I shed my inhibitions like crumpled clothing on the floor. You're a good friend. You soothe the cracks in me until I explode. Hot mess, you wash me down in a lather of soapy fresh suds, past brine dissolving. I step out, all pink and warm, reborn. You swaddle me in a Kenobi robe, plant tender kisses on my lips, your terry towel goddess, turban swirled atop my head, high as Nefertari. As you tuck me into bed, plumbing up the feather pillow for my overactive head, spooning, I think to myself how I could almost fool myself into believing I am happy.
I'm feeling wicked grief. on my heart, just the way my old ginger cat Spike used to do. Heavy on my chest, purring madly into my ears at 3 a.m, trying to chase away the evil lump of cancer in my throat. After my cancer left me, Spike died, just like that. I found him in his favourite place in the kitchen, still warm. He'd spent his 9th life saving mine. Now, for the latest spate of deaths, 5 friends gone over summer, the 3 C's. Cancer, cardiac, COVID, so trite written on the page, so deadly in our bodies. The latest death, the hardest, my dearest friend, my soulmate. We travelled my country together, laughed, argued, consoled each other, his dog, my cat. And now we are separated forever. He has gone so far from me that no plane ticket will ever take me to him. After the latest bad news about the latest bad death, the Illawarra flame tree in my front garden burst into bloom. First time in 4 years it cycles known only to itself. The little grey noisy miners were delighted. They hopped from twig to twig, sipping the nectar contained in those tiny red blossom fairy cups. I'm watching those birds while I'm trying to finish this poem, wrapping it up with some profound insights into humanity as poets are supposed to do. Pain is not an insight. Grief is something we're all destined to face. Where is the insight into that? I wish I were a bird, blithe in the moment, or my old cat stalking those birds as they swoop him just out of reach. I wish I could find the words to take away my pain. There is no magical incantation in this poem. All I have is red birds, red blossoms, grey birds, and a warm blue summer's day. So I put my poem down, leave the house, and try to walk my grief gone from my heart.
So, we're in a park. Might be Camperdown Park or something like that. Bewitched in the park. Your largest and laughter at home here, sprawled on the grass. Soon witches awake. Clouds blush, smudged with haze, bent in branches. Time for storytelling, lounging in the park. You telegraph up well the first encounter blissful, but it quickly descends as your lover stumbles with awfulness, and our laughter joins in hooting harshness. Then a silence when I see your sadness and you see mine. Raising an eyebrow, I flick it away and paint you a gorgeous bully I once was besotted with. And as you listen, you sweep back long, disordered hair, like Mother Earth, chuckling in the grass. Hippie boy with Gothic shadows, under eyes glinting with waywardness. Your cheekbones glow, no longer jaded. My story finds its zest from you. Ragged with brightness, I see you live sinking cade in wuthering, blustering moors. Oh. Lover man, where can you be? And then mouth wide open, astonishing high note. Lyrics patchy, but we capture the feeling. Your head is on my shoulder like there's a sudden downpour you need shelter from.
You want to know what it's like to be me? It's hard to escape the skin one is in. There is no way to hide colour. Asiatic blood courses through my veins, a tangled skein of east meets west. I am a fraud, for having lived abroad traitor to my native tongue, stumbling clumsily like a child on stiletto words that belong to my mother country. I have no real memories of tropical places, exotic tanned faces much like my own. Even my bones betray me, lapping up litres of milk in a childhood of Western luxury. I bloomed taller, more solid than my country cousins, who mocked my thick wrists, so ungainly, unfeminine. Might as well slit them, bleed some of the fat out, you ugly pig. Smear on some whitening cream to brighten up muddy skin. Scour away the sin of my Asianness. Might it help me fit in better? Rebranding has begun. Anglicized my name, shrouded my shame, anesthetized the memories of my origins. I'm sorry I was not able to take you all with me to the lucky country. Queer here too, my sisters and brothers. My adopted home regards me an outlier, another, a person of color. Displaced, I can no longer face you as one of your own. My smile betrays me, too wide, open-mouthed, lacking modesty. Waste not, want not, leave my past behind to rot amongst the jangling bones of ancestors I will never know. Lacking roots, growing wild and gnarled over ancient temple ruins. Still, you envy my banana privilege.
Oh, Paris, you have found your true self, and you are beautiful, just like Aphrodite. And here she comes now, the pan-galactic party girl, bride, goddess, vixen, mother of necessity and persuasion, not to forget the erotic arts, whose joy is in the bed of love, bringer of pleasure, postponer of old age. She flies in her golden chariot, drawn by swans across the billowing sea, porpoises leaping in her wake, until at last she lands lightly on the golden sands to make love all night to the man doomed to love her. Today, I looked in my bathroom mirror and said to my reflection, "You are beautiful." It's very late in the day to think so. I'm in a twilight of my life. My golden hair is crowned with silver. My body bears the scars of living, so why today am I beautiful and feel content? It's been a hell of a year and it's only half over, marked by the deaths of people I love. Over and over, my heart's brother was loved by all, but did not love himself enough to remain earthbound. To mourn him, I travel through night and day. In my dreams, I fly in Aphrodite's golden swan chariot. Winging my way over the vast and empty oceans, I travel through green pine trees, scarred by fire, until at last I reach a cold, clear lake, fringed by snow-capped mountains, a place he and I had never seen together, a place for new memories. I throw my tears and my pain into its icy waters, my eyes grey and wet as the storm clouds reflected in its calm, unyielding face. At sunset, in a town reeking of magic or burning incense, I ask a strange woman to tell me my fate. She shuffles her cards. She speaks 6 different prayers in 6 different tongues. He's still with you, she says, but you must let him leave. You need to move on now that you've grieved. Write a book to tell young people what you know. They need your wisdom. Oh, what do I know? Everything I thought I knew evaporated like spring snow on those distant mountains. My emotions a gushing, icy torrent in the river of my life. Other losses too. The friend who was no friend, the sister who was no sister. I turned my back on them to avoid drowning in their vitriol. Like Harley Quinn immersed in the Joker's chemical vat, I am changed forever with no turning back. My body expresses what my mind suppresses. I hide, naked and shivering under the bedclothes while my doctors pierce me with needles, repair me with stitches, pour strange liquids into my veins, not for ecstasy, but for simple survival. After all that grief, all that pain, all that loss, today I look in my bathroom mirror and say to my reflection, you are beautiful, and I know I am Aphrodite, as all women are Aphrodite. My heart is torn because I love. Reckless hands throw the rose petals of my love into the gutter, trample my precious gift into the dirt, treat it like garbage. With my pain, all I can do is speak my truth. I cannot live without love. I must love, and I must become love, and love again. I know that I will love again. In my own time, in my own way, the way the root seeks water, the way the green shoot sprouts on the dead branch, the way the blossom unfurls from the bud. I am here. I am ready. I am Aphrodite. And so are all of you.